Welcome back, Shalligators. Well, today we are continuing our two-part series on age gaps in dating. Now, yesterday we talked about young Groupon, whatever his name, Young Gravy, whatever, dating Addison Rae's mom, and there's a 16-year age difference. Ooh, girl, get it. Wow, 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 wow. I love it. I love dating younger guys, and I gave you guys the pros and cons on, going after younger dudes. I won't say going after. That sounds so predatory. Well, today we're switching gears. And like I said yesterday, I'm diving deep into my own hypocrisy and talking about when older men chronically, or maybe not chronically, when they date measurably younger women. What's up with that? Is it just the same? Hey, is all things being equal? Cool, no big deal. Is it really toxic and dangerous? What does it actually mean when a guy goes after younger women all the time? And listen, I'm gonna call myself out and tell you if yikes, I see some of my own behaviors. I keep it 100. I'm not afraid to tell myself that I am full of bullshit. So we're gonna talk about Demi Lovato and her new song, 29, which is about her ex, WILMER Valderrama, who was 29 when he dated her and she was 17, yuck. Plus, we're going to talk about Leo DiCaprio breaking up with his girlfriend, Camila Morrone, the second she turned 25, and how he has literally never dated a woman over 25, even though he's, 44? So it's there's literally a graph that the girl's age is cap out here and his age just keeps going up. It's once that frontal lobe is formed at 25, she's out of there. She can rent a car, get the hell out of my house, off the yacht, overboard. Rent your goddamn Hertz and drive yourself back to America. But we're also going to talk about Demi's pronouns. Oh, you've been waiting for this rant. And what she has said about her documentaries. It really does get tiring being right. Just in case you're wondering. And you're like, do you think Shallon gets tired of being right? I do. Okay, but before we get started, tonight we have our final sexy session bonus episode on kinks, choking, hair pulling, role play, all sorts of fetishy things. I'm going to tell you a little bit about how to introduce it to your partner, the right and the wrong way to do these things, literally the right way to choke someone, the right way to pull someone's hair so they're not ow, how to do safe words, how to communicate boundaries. Plus, after the main live stream, we're going to do a live Q&A that you guys can join so you can get tickets right down there. If you happen to miss it, you can watch it on replay for up to 7 days, but once it's gone after a week. However, all of these sexy session bonus episodes that are tutorials on kissing, handjobs, blowjobs, sex, plus live Q&As after, and the bonus episodes on how to be sexy and this kinky one will be available in the Shallantourage. The Shallantourage are kind of our little members only club. You get exclusive videos and podcasts from me. Usually it's 4 extra videos a week, some really raw story time, stuff that I just don't feel I don't want to put on here. Stuff that's a little spicier, that YouTube's gonna be no. You get to be part of a series of Telegram chats that I'm on, plus daily text messages from me with Evil Monday and Slutty Saturday, all sorts of things. So go ahead and click the link down in the bio. You can save 25%. And if you're feeling big-hearted, I would really appreciate it to pay it forward, if my advice has ever helped you, and contribute to a GoFundMe that has been set up for one of our own, a Shalligator named Jerry Beth Silva. She lives in Venezuela and is going into her own pocket and honestly a lot of debt, saving animals that have been abandoned. Venezuela has had a real tough go. And when any society experiences upheaval, animals are the first to suffer. And they can't help themselves. And we can though. We can save a life. Truly, $10 can go such a long way in saving a life and getting an animal off the street and getting it medicine and getting it out of pain and getting him adopted. So your money really does go someplace that makes such a difference, So even just a little bit helps. It all adds up. So let's help Jerry Beth reach her goal of $6,000. It would mean the world to me and of course to her. Okay, let's talk Demi. First of all, before we get into the song, it's back to he, she, or no, she, her, whatever, pronouns. Demi has finally realized, what's down there? Is it a hoo-ha or a weenus? I don't know. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's a pencil sharpener. Maybe it's a pair of barbecue tongs. Maybe it's a scented candle from Home Goods. I don't know what's down there. The weenus or the pee-pee. Demi has realized it's a female. That's great. I need to digress. I just need to digress for 1 second. I had a call, a business call the other day, okay? And the point of this is fuck fuck like the pronoun soup, fuck the alphabet soup of like the LG, whatever issues. Why am I saying this? I was on a call the other day and the chick was talking about LGBTQIA question mark, no smoking sign, Russian symbol for crosswalk, whatever, like this alphabet soup is. And she kept saying LGBTQIA. And I thought, this sounds off to me. LGBT. What's missing? The B. LGBTQIA, whatever, no smoking sign. I go to the Google machine. Why is the B taken out? Do you know why? B stands for bisexual. That, to leave that in, affirms that there's only two genders. So they took it out. Guess who's bisexual? I am. So this community can go fuck itself because clearly I'm not welcome here. Because I've decided correctly, oh yeah, I know it's down there, that I am like part of the problem. These people who it's like, it's all about inclusivity unless you can identify a penis or a vagina, unless you're like, it's one of those two things. Then fuck me, fuck you guys, fuck you guys. Wait, I mean, it's just, it blows my mind where we're at in terms of logic as a society. Like, at this point, I hope China invades. I mean, are they making any more sense over there? Fine. Is ISIS doing better? Like, what's happening? Like, does anybody else want to come give this a shot? God almighty, cheese and crackers, Mary. Okay, rant over. End rant. So Demi has decided she's a girl again. Great. And one of my friends had a very interesting point of view on this. I want to read you the text she sent me. Hold on. I'm not going to call you out, boo, because I know she watches these videos. I love you. Okay. Here are my thoughts on Demi. The reason she went back to she, her is because she claimed she felt more feminine, right? Well, she feels more feminine because she's thinner. And Demi is looking like a lot thinner now. Her hair's grown out. She's wearing makeup. Like, she's not ranting about frozen yogurt. Like, she looks thinner. So my friend had a theory. And that thinness that she's been striving for her whole life, and she has, like, she's always, you know, whatever. Her whole life didn't just come from willpower. I would guess weight loss drugs or surgery. I believe people who identify as they, them do so because they aren't pretty enough to be women, or at least that's how they feel. Do you guys think that's true? I think there's something to be said there. I mean, I also would not be surprised if Demi is using like a little medical help to lose weight. I did, no shade on that. Like, whatever, do whatever makes you feel good and to get you to a healthy place. Cool, whatever. But I do think it's interesting to consider that people who are like they, thems, it's because I don't belong in one gender. Or is what you actually mean, I don't feel like I'm good at being this gender. Maybe, maybe not. But from my point of view, as someone who has definitely not felt good being a girl, and I don't mean in like a transgender way, but like when I was like 13, 15, I wasn't great at being a girl. Oh, my makeup was all over the place. I didn't know how to flirt. I mean, guys weren't paying attention to me at all. If I had been given the option of like, hey, do you want like an off ramp here? Like, you're not good at this, so why don't you just stop playing? Maybe that would have been attractive. I don't know. I mean, I suppose I could have, like, I guess that kind of could have been a thing, but not really. I mean, certainly not the way it is now, but instead, thank God, I learned to play the game. I learned to play the game. So here's how I think of it. All this gender switching, I'm non-binary. Do I have a weenus or a PP? I have no idea. I guess it'd be a hoo-ha, not a PP, right? PP is a weenie, right? Picture the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? They're playing a football game. You have some asshole who wanders into the center of the field and they just sit down and they're like, you know what? This game, I don't know how to play this game. This game is stupid. And they're like, well, we know how to play it. No, you're stupid for knowing how to play it, because if I don't know how to play it, nobody should know how to play it. And you should respect that I don't know how to play it and that I think it's stupid. And you know what? Where's my Super Bowl trophy? I should get a trophy. They're like, you're not getting a trophy. Tom Brady says you're not getting a trophy. You didn't win this game. You opted out of it. Well, that's because it's stupid. And you know what? I'm not failing because I won't learn how to play football. I am actually higher level than you. I just have expanded my consciousness because I can see that this game is dumb. So I am going to invent my own game. That's what I'm going to do. And yeah, I'm going to invent a whole other sport. And the sport is going to keep changing depending on how bad I am at the sport I invented. Then I'm just going to invent a new one. And you know who the problem is? You. You're the problem. You're the problem because you know how to play this sport and this one's stupid. The one I haven't even invented yet or that I'm inventing as you know, like in real time, that's the cool one. They would get escorted off the field. These words wouldn't even make it past their lips. Tom Brady would be embarrassed. Tom Brady has no need to bitch about the rules of football. He's good at playing it. He has no need to reinvent the game, invent a whole new game, and shame the game of football because he's good at football. And when you're good at it, it's all good, right? Like I said, I've been bad at being a girl and now I'm good at it. I don't mean just hair and makeup. I mean, that's like part of it. I mean like the feminine arts, the art of seduction, the art of female manipulation. I study this like nothing else. I am good in bed. I am good at wheedling guys. I am good at making them see what I want them to see. I'm good at human charm. I'm good at it. I don't need to be like, I don't want to be a girl anymore. Yes, I do, because I'm a fucking Olympian when it comes to being a girl. And I can teach you how to do that too. I can. You want to be good at being your gender? I can teach you how to do that. It's easier to learn the rules of a game that already exists than to try to make up your own new one. Try to invent a sport. You don't believe me? Invent a sport this weekend. Have it make sense. Invent a language. How about that? Invent a new style of dance, a new type of cooking, a new genre of music. Does that seem easy? Or is it maybe easier to just learn how to make sushi because it already exists? It's tough, but I mean, you can learn it. And learn to tap dance and learn to play lacrosse or whatever. Yeah, that might be simpler. And again, I can teach you. So I wonder if Demi is feeling more feminine because she's feeling thinner. I know that I talked about this yesterday. Like I've lost 40 pounds in the last year. I look so different. I feel so much better and I feel so much more powerful as a person. I feel like I have so much more self-possession. I have more boundaries. I say no easier. Do I still have a boyfriend? Like, no. You know what? Who cares? That is not a metric of my femininity. It's not a metric of my success as a human being. Like, is there a dick inside me? Oh, that's difficult. That's real fucking difficult. If anything, I'm more single now because, the bar is a lot higher. The bar last summer when I was plump, really not that high because I didn't feel that good about myself. I was kind of like, I was getting drunk and hooking up with dudes and like, oh, I hope they like me. I don't need you to like me, boo. I like me. You don't agree? Bye. That's weird. You can't see the value here? I do. I see it all the time. I feel it. I look at it. I photograph it. I see it. If you can't agree, like that sounds like a you problem. That's your bad taste. I didn't feel like that last year. I said, like I was trying to pump myself up and I'm still giving you guys pep talks. But when I look at who I was dating and the situations I was permitting, I can't in good conscience say that I felt amazing about myself. No, I didn't. I was ashamed of myself and where I had let myself get to. I'm going to get upset talking about it, but I would rather feel that retroactive shame than feel it currently all the time. I would rather it be in the rear view. So I think it's interesting that Demi is back to being a chick because she feels better about herself. And what is that feeling betterness predicated on? Is it weight loss? Is it she had a boy be attracted to her and she's like, oh yeah, no, I'm a girl. I'm a girl because he's straight. So I'm going to be straight. I'm not going to be queer or questioning. It's interesting. Let's talk about what she had to say about her documentaries. Oh, you're going to fucking love this. You're going to love this because we have been saying this forever. Forever, we've been saying it because we're always right. Holy shit. Everything people have tried to cancel us for, we've always been right. We've turned out to be right. So now I view that pushback is the biggest metric that oh, yo, I'm on the right track. It's such a green flag. Okay. So she said she regrets, she's promoting her album, Holy Fuck. That's what you named your album? I don't know. I got a potty mouth, but I don't name my channel fucking fuck face. Fuckity fuck fest. Okay. So she said hi, boo. My friend's here. Hi. Kyle might be coming over. because he's got to get his stuff and like clean up. I told him you're going to be here. I'm in the middle of it. I just wanted to say hi. Okay, so as we know, Demi has done all these documentaries about how she's so sober, and then she'll come out with a new documentary being like, you know that one I just did about how sober I was? I wasn't sober. But I'm sober now. No, I promise. Cut to a new documentary. I wasn't sober then. I mean, it's just like rinse, repeat. And it's like, dude, bro, obviously you're not sober. Like, we can all see it. You have your shroom room. Right? Remember that in her documentary, her shroom room? And it was wild to me that people were defending that. Like, it's just for fun. If you were morbidly obese and trying to lose weight, like really, real deal Holyfield trying, would you have a donut room? I don't have a candy room. Like, I'm trying to break my sugar addiction. I don't have like candy as decorations. I'm not JoJo Siwa, for God's sakes. Like, that's an unwise strategy. You're setting yourself up for failure, but you can't fail if you're not trying. Right? And to me, she really wasn't trying. Oh, I'm California sober. Sobriety works for some people, not for me. So she said she wished she had like basically not made these documentaries until she was actually sober. She said, honestly, I'm really sick of watching myself, and I think other people probably are too. And if they aren't, then they can watch my music videos. Got it. I wish I would have waited until I had my shit figured out more, because now it's cemented, she said, before clarifying her current relationship with substances. Sobriety is what works for me and nothing else. Yeah. No shit, man. Listen, I get it. I get that it seems so unfair that when you have a substance abuse issue that's stemming from childhood trauma, and I've talked about I've talked about Demi with empathy about her dad, like her issues with her dad. They reminded me a lot of my dad, especially the way his life ended and the way my father's life ended. And, you know, you use drugs to anesthetize yourself from the things that happened to you that weren't your fault. I mean, listen, at some point though, you are the co-architect of your own misfortune. I mean, we can't go through life chronically victimizing ourselves. You know, once we're out of childhood, bro, like it's on us. It's on us. Like, yeah, there's bad things that happen. Bad things happen to everyone. I have 2 words for you. Nelson Mandela. Okay, so yeah. How about 2 more words? Schindler's List. Okay, so yeah, we're just gonna maybe dial down the self-pity a little bit. Like, I get that, like, you know, you use drugs to anesthetize yourself and it doesn't seem fair. It's like, so I can't even have a glass of wine because of all this shit that happened to me when I was a kid? Kinda. If there was a middle ground, we wouldn't have alcoholics. And that I'm dealing with someone in my life who's dealing with this, and I'm watching it, and it's really painful and it's really hard to watch him try to find this middle ground that it's clearly not happening. I don't think he realizes how hard it's not happening right now, but it's not. Like, it's not going. It's an on or an off switch for a lot of people, and then it seems like he's one of those, and Demi seems like one of those. So at least she's finally like getting the fucking memo about it. But let's talk about her song, 29. Let's read some of the lyrics, because she was, you know, as usual, full of nothing but subtlety and dignity writing this song. So she dated Wilmer Valderrama when she was 17, and he was, as the lyrics imply, 29. Just a petal on the vine, too young to drink wine. Just 5 years a bleeder. Ugh. Student and a teacher, far from innocent. What the fuck's consent? The word consent does not even in a song. Numbers told you not to, but that didn't stop you. Finally 29, funny, just like you were at the time. Thought it was my teenage dream, just a fantasy, but yours, was it yours or was it mine? 17, 29. Blah, 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 blah. I see you're quite the collector. All my daddy issues. Like, she just goes on and on. I can't play the song because of copyright, but it's honestly not very good. Her voice is incredible, but these songs, they just seem kind of remedial to me. Like, they didn't put a lot of effort into the melody. I'm a big melody girl. It's also just super, super literal. So she's clearly super fucked up about this. Demi, though, Demi seems fucked up about literally everything. She just doesn't seem to have a ton of resiliency, you know, and everything that has happened to her, she's like, and that's why I did drugs. Like, we get it. You did drugs. We all fucking get it. We all get it. What she doesn't seem to be doing is therapy. Now I guess she is. I don't know. But it's just more of this offloading of personal responsibility. But am I being unfair to Demi? Because look, the whole point of this video is to talk about how older men will fuck you up. Fuck you up. We talked yesterday about when older women go after younger men. And one of the thesis statements I made was that I'm fine with this because women do not have the ability to physically and sexually traumatize men the way older men traumatize young women. Shallon, that's not true. Yes, it is. For God's sakes, grow up. Has your misogyny, has the misogyny of the patriarchy been so deeply internalized by you that you are honestly willing to say that men and women are sexually victimized the same? Have you lost your mind? That's not true. Here's one simple fact. Nothing's ever inside a man. Nothing's inside a man. Something's inside of us. Fingers, tongues, penises. We got a lot of openings, don't we? There's our mouth, it's our pussy, it's everywhere. Now look, you can make the claim that like gay men can sexually traumatize younger men. Okay, we're not talking about gay men. We're talking about straights. We're not talking about gays. I can't even begin to speak on your guys' experience. I have no idea. Don't get monkeypox. Be careful. He ain't worth it. He ain't worth it. It's the sores. Think of, I'm talking about women. There is nothing coming inside a man. Like it's an intimate thing when something's inside you. The only time something's ever inside a man is like when they go to the dentist. Think about that. Think about if that was the most invasive thing you ever experienced. If that was the only foreignness that your body ever was subject to. I mean, think about tampons. Isn't that wild? So miss me with this horseshit argument that, oh no, it's not the same. This is the issue with older men. Fandom. What older men want when they date a young woman clearly isn't an equal. They want a fan. They want a puppet. They want a toady. They want someone subservient. They want someone submissive. Now, hold on. You might say, well, Shallon, you date younger guys. Is that what you want? I mean, I don't know that you're wrong. I don't know that you're wrong about that. But I was thinking about it. What I like about younger guys is, and I mean this in like from the toxic way, like from the toxic underbelly, if we're looking at this in a toxic way, it's not that I want to manipulate them. It's that I maybe at my most toxic don't want someone who's going to call me on my shit and make me communicate better, right? We talked about this in terms of like Kourtney Kardashian and Scott Disick and why she stuck with him for so long, because she could do whatever she wanted, because no matter what a mess she was, he was always worse. He was always worse. I think that's why she likes to be a mom, because she's like a tyrant over them and she has power, you know? So I think it's when you can look at like the age gap in dating, when I look at myself, I'm like, no, I can see that in myself. Like I can see like maybe I date messy guys, addicts or whatever, because hey, my life, my side of the street looks awfully clean. And if I'm dating someone younger and they're not as an effective communicator, they're, you know, less mature, they have less experience, they're not going to maybe notice that I'm manipulating them in an argument. They're not going to notice that maybe I'm gaslighting them. They're not going to notice that I'm employing fallacies in this fight to win. And again, like this isn't how I always am, but if I am like in a really toxic place, yeah. But it's not like I want to control them. I don't want to control them because I actually really like a very dominant guy. It's that I don't want to be controlled. So that's interesting. And maybe some dudes who date younger women, maybe it's the same thing. Like maybe they had a very oppressive relationship or an oppressive mother and they're like, I like this chick because she lets me go fishing whenever I want. She doesn't nag me about things. She doesn't know enough to do that. I suppose that would be the most generous description of guys who date younger women. I would say that would be like the most positive spin we could put on it. Listen, as a side note, I want you to go to this chick on Instagram. I want you to go to her page, Tracy Egan Morrissey. She did this unbelievable receipt-filled breakdown of Dane Cook's relationship with his 23-year-old fiance. He's like, was he in his 50s or something? He bloat watched 2022. and how he chronically has like 16-year-old girls at these game nights at his house, like calling this one chick, oh, she's my homegirl. What man in his like 40s has a 15-year-old homegirl? So that's a good question. What kind of man, what kind of 29-year-old would want to be around a 17-year-old? I'm so glad you asked. Let me break this down. A man who doesn't want to be around women that notice his immaturity. When you're 17, you look at a guy who's 29, or let's say 21, because 29, obviously that's pretty extreme. You're probably not dating. But you're looking at a guy, let's say he's 21. You're like, oh my God, he can like buy alcohol. He has his own apartment. He's got his own car. Like, whoa, like he has a job. Another 21-year-old might look at him and be like, he's got this shitty ass car. He works at Cinnabon at the airport. He's buying Four Loko. Like, ugh, he's going nowhere. But to a 17-year-old, he's a big, bright, shining star. Not because there's anything wrong with the 17-year-old. Not at all. She's doing and viewing things exactly as she should based on her experience. There's nothing wrong with you, boo. It's him. He doesn't want to be around women his own age or older because they're going to be like, yeah, no. They're contrasting him against other 21-year-olds and older, but the 17-year-old is contrasting him against other 17-year-olds. So no matter, unless he's like just a complete fucking failure, the 21-year-old is always going to outrank the 17-year-old based on things like, yeah, he can drive, he can live on his own, he can buy beer. Like he's above that based literally just on age metrics, not based on actual achievement. And the older guy knows this. He is pulled gravitationally towards these girls who aren't going to call him out, who aren't going to make him be better, who aren't going to notice, who are going to have a lower standard of behavior because they're younger. And again, that's normal. This is not the fault of the girl. This is the deficiency of the man. And because that's the inherent construct, you cannot possibly say that this man wants an equal. How can you have an equal if you don't want to be called out on things? And again, listen, I'm talking to myself. I think I finally moved out of my phase of young dudes. I mean, based on my date the other night, maybe not, but like I'm moving more towards sort of more age appropriate people. I'm trying because I'm growing up and I am realizing, look, you need to be your best self. And I do think that correlates with me losing weight. It's like, okay, your body's in shape. You're holding yourself to a higher standard in all categories of your life. You need to communicate like an adult with an adult. Stop running game on dudes. Just because you can win, just because you can do it, just because you're good at it, and it feels good in the moment, what's going to feel good long term? A real partner? A husband maybe? Yeah, okay. So I'm looking myself in the mirror and having some hard conversations and trying to be a little bit more mature. Ugh. It's literally so annoying. So when you see a guy who's dating a young woman, they don't want an equal, they want a fan. They want someone easy to manipulate. And the problem here is that can create a domino effect across that young woman's life forever. He will change her irreparably. I know this because I talk to you guys about this and I hear it and I see it and I witness it. And you pull back and you look at your life and you say, that changed me. In a way, it's one thing to be changed by something when you are going into it eyes wide open. It's another thing when, like Demi said, what is consent? When you're like, oh, wow, this is amazing. The teenage dream, when you're being conned by an emotional grifter. How do you bounce back from something like that? The first thing you do is forgive yourself. You forgive yourself. You know, it's a really horrible thing to move through life blaming, and listen, it's horrible to move through life as a chronic victim, okay? But it's also bad, and the opposite end of the same spectrum, to move through life feeling like you're the chronic perpetrator, like everything was your fault, you should have known better. Until you can forgive yourself and be like, listen, I was working with the data and the experience and literally the frontal lobe synapses that I had at the time. I was doing the best that I could. And if I wasn't, okay, if I wasn't, why wasn't I? What was this man an emotional getaway car from? What was he supposed to save me from, distract me from? What purpose in life was he claiming that he was going to give me? Either he was saying it out loud or I was filling in those blanks. I was projecting that onto him. He's going to make me cool. I was so dorky and so unpopular in high school, but there's not just a guy who likes me, there's an older guy who likes me. So if he and I are Instagram official, it's going to make up for all those fucking people who said I was a nerd. I'm going to show them. Because they're still dating. Oh, are you dating Sigma Chi's? I'm dating a guy who works in an office. Okay? Cut to, he works in the mailroom. Not a corner office, you know? But when you picture this relationship, either currently or in the past, what was the fantasy? What was the mythology associated with it? Because that really is going to give us a lot of data. Speaking of addicts, I know I'm dealing with that right now with somebody. And like I said, it's tough to watch and it's tough to be a part of. And I find myself fantasizing about being Instagram official with him. And it's like, that's what I keep, like, these fantasies like go back to that place. Like, and we post the photo and what would the caption be? And I'm like, why am I so caught up in this? Like, why is that the fantasy, the big finish line? Like, not, he puts a ring on my finger, not we're at a party and people see us in town. Like, it's public. There's something about this. I'm like, no. What I'm fantasizing about is what's public. Why? And I've been sitting with that for a few days because I really wanted to like dismantle that and be like, because I know it's not the person. I know it's the possibilities. I'm wise enough now to be like, okay, I think that's what's going on. Because we've been around and around literally for so long. And I'm like, I know it's not him. I know it's what he represents. He's a hurt locker. He's my hurt locker. Ugh. And I finally got to the root of it. I was like, I want it to be public because I feel like whenever something goes wrong in my personal life, it reflects so poorly on me given what I do for a living. It's like a personal trainer getting fat. Like, how am I supposed to look any of you guys in the eye? I'm gonna like get upset and say like, listen to me, when it's like, I just got my heart broken and I'm crying about somebody. Who the fuck would listen to me? You know? So that's difficult. Like when most people have a breakup or they get their heart broken, it has nothing to do with work. And it has nothing to do with their identity and their legacy in the world. And, you know, it's finite. It's more encapsulated, not with me. And it's like, no. I need that win to be, first of all, I see it as a win. I need it to be public. Because I have to prove to myself like, okay, I can do this. I'm the personal trainer doing the ab photo, right? So if you find yourself in not just an older dude relationship, in any sort of relationship that you're like fixated on, or you found that it has had like really lasting consequences in your life, like the ripple effects just go on and on, go back, like allow yourself to go back and kind of step into the pleasant fiction of it. What did that look like? What does it look like? What are you imagining? And what does that actually mean? What need is inside you that fantasy is molding around, you know? That need is propelling and writing this script. So what is that need? There's no wrong answer. And it'll feel embarrassing. You think I want to fucking say, oh, it needs to be in public on Instagram. Embarrassing. Clown. But that's how we change things. We're brave enough to look at it in the face and be like, ugh, fuck, that's what that means. But when we can do that, okay, now at least we can make a map to untangle all of this stuff, right? I will briefly touch on Leo DiCaprio and Camilla Morrone. I mean, what is there to say? It's weird that he dumps girls literally at 25. Why 25? 26 I get. 26 is peak douche. Don't date a 26-year-old, like literally never. If I find out a guy's 26, I'm like, do not talk to me. There's something that happens to men when they're 26. They just think they are hot snot. They're like, I got my first big promotion. Like they're probably in their first like big boy apartment or something. They finally left college behind, you know, that's like firmly in the rear view. A lot of their friends have settled down or getting married. And they're like, oh, I'm still like big dick swinging. Bleh. And they just think they got it all figured out. They are honestly beyond insufferable. And I swear to you, like almost to the day that they turn 27, the fog lifts. It does. It's wild. It's wild. Don't fuck with a 26-year-old. Nightmare fuel. 25 is fine. So maybe girls hit their douche peak at like 24, 25. Maybe Leo has figured out something that I haven't. But yeah, there's like all these graphs about how his age keeps going up. And the age of his girlfriends never really get out of this zone. And they truly cap at 25. And he's dated like Erin Featherston, Giselle, Blake Lively, like Nina Agdal, who walks very weird. I should demonstrate it sometime. Very weird. Yeah, Kelly Rohrbach, like all these girls, 25 out. I have heard he wants to have a baby when he's 50. So, okay. It's just so odd. It's so odd. I want to know your thoughts on dating older guys. I'm trying to think if I left anything out. Oops. Oh, whoa. You know what? We'll just do it selfie mode. We're going to sign off. I guess my ring light is like, yeah, done. You're done. I'm out of here. Okay. Let me know your experience dating older guys. Did it mess you up? How did you move on from it? Or have you? Or are you in a relationship where a guy is much older and you're like, no, this is actually the healthiest relationship I've been in? What is the age? Okay, hold on. Here's something I need to add. I can't believe I forgot this. Life arenas. This is really annoying to have to hold. Ooh, oops. Well, we have no choice. Hold on. I'm sorry. Okay, and the light ring is down. The light ring, we're down. Okay. Black Hawk down. I can't believe I forgot to add this. Life arenas. So romances are with big age differences are more prone to working when you're in the same life arena. And by that, I mean, listen, there could only be a year difference between you, but that year might be someone's in college and someone is in high school. Huge difference life arena. You know, one, you're living at home, one, you're drinking, you're off. We can acknowledge that, right? So a year might only be such a tiny amount on a calendar, but in terms of life arenas, it's enormous. And vice versa. You can have someone, you have a 12-year age gap, but he's working in corporate America, you're working in corporate America, you're both new to this city, you both used to be in the military, whatever it used to be, or whatever it is. If you're in the same arena, you have a much higher chance of it working and not being toxic or traumatic. And so you can look at Demi and Wilmer and say, well, they were in the same life arena. They were both famous. She had to grow up fast. She had been on like TV. He had been on TV when he was younger. There's probably a lot of overlap in their life and their personality. So maybe it's not as toxic as, say, a 17-year-old who was homeschooled and a 29-year-old who's been in the military, traveled all over. They're an influencer. They've been on The Bachelor. Like, maybe the life arenas align more. But I do think that that's an important thing when you're looking at, you know, age gaps. Like, I know that, oh, sorry, this is so annoying. I was recently dating someone, he was like my age, but our life arenas felt very different. He was like fresh out of a divorce. They'd been married since he was, I think, 19. Like, he had 4 kids. And I'm like, we're not in the same arena. I truly feel like I have more in common with a guy who's 24. Like, he's striking out. He understands the internet. We listen to the same music. Like, we don't want to settle down. We don't want kids. To me, that arena feels more compatible. So you really have to step back and be like, where am I? Where are they? And what is the overlap in this Venn diagram? So let me know your thoughts on age gaps. Let me know your thoughts on Demi's pronouns. Ooh, is someone coming here to counsel me? Oh. So excited. And we're going to be back with some more videos. Like I said, join me for Alpha Academy tonight. And if you miss it, you can watch it in replay for a week or get access to everything right in the Shallontourage. You can watch them forever. They never expire. The link is down below. And if you're feeling generous or this video helped you, please consider paying it forward, even with a $5, $10 donation that really adds up to our fundraiser, helping Jerry Beth Silva rescue some animals in Venezuela. I'll see you later, alligators.